Hello everyone, welcome to the gameplay demonstration for our game Remedium Animi. Here's the main menu. I'm going to press begin. You can see here all the levels are unlocked. Usually you'd unlock one at a time, but we've set them to all unlock just for this gameplay demonstration. Down here your abilities would also be locked until you beat level 8, but we've unlocked them just for this. Once you get to level 9 and 10, you can't actually play the level till you select those abilities. I'm going to pick a level just to demonstrate some gameplay.
Bloodletting uses my stock, but my patience paid back as I destroy more disease.
So there's a little cutscene before most levels just to give you an idea of what's going on and an overview of the map. Up here we've got our stock bar that depletes as we use abilities like our dagger, as that cutscene just mentioned, but we can get a little bit back by destroying disease as well. So it's kind of diminishing returns, so you use them sparingly. You can see here we've got a big crowd, so we might want to chuck them down. And we really got to stop this getting out of control. Down the bottom we've got the infection bar, and once that reaches the max, the game is over. And once that reaches the bottom...
Thank you very much.
Cool, we're going to try level 7 now.
A path of destruction left by disease. Good thing this treatment eats paths for breakfast.
Space to skip as well. So here we have the leech. It's a thin line attack, but as it hits things, it regenerates a lot of your stock, which is good for these enemies because usually they don't give you any stock. So this level is just designed to really demonstrate the powers.
Thank you very much.
Destroyed that level. We're going to play level 10 here now, which is the final level to boss fight. I'm going to take the dagger. I'll take the onion as well just to show what it does.
Bubonic plague.
I'm going to skip the cutscene as well because it's quite long, and that's something to see when you play the game. So here you can see this has got a lot of health. Really got to chip through it. The good thing about the dagger is it hits 3 times, so you can get a lot of hits in on the boss there. Then we've got Dancing Plague, and if you let that hit you, I'm losing lots of stock here from these small bosses. But the Dancing Plague switches your controls around and really makes it hard to play. Through it a bit. There we go. We're going to make sure. It seems like there's one enemy left. Here we go. Get rid of that. Actually,
thank you very much.
I didn't end up showing what the onion did, so I'll very do that. The onion just leaves a trail of onions that enemies can't pass through. So it's good for sealing off enemies as well as defensively. It's a good thing to keep yourself safe from, say, the Dancing Plague. Alright. That's everything. There's a lot more levels there, but I don't have enough time to go through them all. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This is just a very quick review of our playtesting. So here we go, playtest 1. So playtest 1 was 2 players, friends of mine who are both seasoned gamers, so they've played a lot of games in a lot of different genres. A few things were immediately clear was that the first playtest was way too small, but we did discover a few little things to improve on, such as just generally making things clearer, and a small bug with the speed that some of the clouds moved. We did another playtest later with one person who'd played very little action games. They'd played a few more mainstream non-action games, but action games was not really their forte. So they were panicking a lot, they didn't quite realize some controls, things weren't clear enough again. It was really just making the UI clearer, making the tutorials clearer. But the panic was good, to be honest. It fit what we were going for the game very well. Finally, did a playtest with 3 players, 1 who didn't play many games at all, and 2 people who played a decent amount of games. There's very interesting things all around. One of them had a lot to say about the game, including ideas that we did end up incorporating, and changes that we were already working on at the time. But it's good to get that reiterated that it is something that needs to be changed. Overall, the game was much harder. Obviously, it's easier to play a game when you know where all the enemies are and you know how everything works. And so following all these playtests, there was a lot of balance changes, and there were some levels made based on what worked very well, including one enemy that chased down the players, and so they were very easy to track back to their source. rather than the one that's just absent-mindedly floated in the corner that no one could find.
This is for the class. This is our sprint planning retrospective, going through what we thought it was successful in the sprint, how we performed as a whole, areas for improvement, and ideas and reflection for the future. How we thought the sprint went. I guess Andre, did you want to share how you thought the sprint went well, and what could where we could improve?
Yeah. Overall, I think the sprint did go well. You can see on the board we finished most of the tasks we wanted to finish, and a fair few were added throughout the process as well. I think the main thing was that we took a big break after the last assessment to kind of get more time to ourselves, and that put us a little bit behind schedule. But I think in the end, everyone did pull through, and we managed to finish in the end.
Absolutely, and I would agree, and I think there's definitely areas where with people that's got different workloads on with uni and life, obviously, it presents different challenges. Dalen, do you have any comments, thoughts?
No, that's absolutely perfect. Andrew said, basically, that's basically just how it went down.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you think, in terms of how we planned in the sprint, do you think there's that the way that we went about planning led to the kind of overall success, or do you think that could have been improved?
Yeah, I mean, there's always room for improvement, but I think that initial planning that we did when we did put everything out on the board, the way it was, the way Andre planned it, and how it was written onto the board was really good and efficient, and we managed to knock the tasks out that we needed to get done.
Absolutely, and I feel like the design model aspect of Hack and Plan too. I keep talking about that, but that is, I think, very handy. Definitely, and definitely an advantage against other planning tools. Luna, sorry, did you have anything to add on top of that?
It was a great job. It is complicated to kind of communicate when we are just online and chatting, but it was great.
Excellent. Cool. And then in terms of what we got complete, what we set out to complete this sprint versus what we didn't, just generally, do you feel like we got through what we set out to achieve? I guess looking at the board, we've got a few things left, I think, left behind. And then I guess in terms of communication, so I guess working through Discord and chatting being distributed and kind of online, did you guys find any particular challenges with that method of communication? Or
yeah, sort of always, I guess generally it sort of depends on the individual, but you just make do with, I said before, everyone's on different schedules and stuff, and people just communicate when they sort of can, it's a little bit of a waiting game, but it's fine generally, as long as it comes together.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. And I think, trying to, I guess, times when we can organize to be on at the same time worked fairly well, because you get that back and forth in real time, which is good. Whereas, like he said, it's sometimes you have to wait for a response when people are available. So yeah, I think that's kind of area there. Does anyone have any comments on kind of the how you would do anything better in the future?
One thing I did like, when we were working out the Hack and Plan board, Dalen added a lot of the subtasks to each task, and I really liked that. It was a very easy way to work through, and even if you're in progress on something, you can tick off the boxes as you go and show yourself what you have left to do.
Absolutely. It's like mini progression, unlike a major progression.
Yeah, it's very good.
I find it gets a little bit difficult sometimes to actually figure out what the heading task should be when you're putting in a bunch of subtasks. That's why I'd spent probably a little bit too much more time organizing tasks to make them make sense. Because you've got things that are under programming, but you're like, with UI is like a programming and an artistic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how you're like separating those and trying to figure out how all those things work, but
And just
you can make it work.
Just having a good naming standard, and I think as well, like that's where the categorizations in Hack and Plan, I find that for myself, being able to like you're saying, separate the art from, and there's clearly like an art category from the implementation of the art into the game. You can do that more as represented as a code category. So I think I like that tool for that purpose as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome.
Are you guys overall happy with kind of what was built?
Oh, absolutely.
Very, very happy, yeah.
Awesome.